Hi, very good evening, team. Welcome to Dwaytech's Power BI Masterclass. In today's subject, we will be dealing with number cards, text cards, date cards, and multi-row cards. So, in short, we'll be dealing with cards in Power BI as part of today's subject. A quick recap: till now, we have looked at Power BI as an introduction, what Power BI is as a tool, and where it is used in the industry. And we had a chance to look at the download and the installation process. We happened to use multiple charts. We happened to use some basic and some complex charts. And right after charts, we had the chance to work with tables. And after tables, we even got a chance to work with matrices. And we saw how we could deploy matrices while building our dashboard. So the cosmetic part, everything we have had a brief with. As part of today's subject, we will be looking at charts, cards. We'll be looking at cards. So it is also a feature just like tables and just like matrices and just like the maps, the pie charts, all the charts. Even cards is also a feature that you can display on your dashboard while you are giving a particular analysis report. So as part of this dashboard, where we can deploy this cards and where we can use them, how to utilize them, and how to connect them with our database, we'll be looking into that. As part of continuity, we will be working on the same global superstore dataset as before. Let's jump right into the subject. So the first thing I'll be displaying or demonstrating as part of today's class is the number card, right? The number cards icon is present in the visualization pane. As you select a pie chart, as you select a stacked column chart, as you select a map, as you select a table or a matrix, in the same way, the cards are also icons on the visualization pane. You can scroll under pie chart. You'll find this symbol, this icon, which has a rectangular box with digits appearing in it. That is the card, right? That is number card. So I'm going to select a number card and it appears on my screen immediately. I'll just resize this, maximize the size for your visibility. So I'm going to select this number card and I'm going to the data set, and here I'll drag down and I will select sales, right? Sum of sales, the sales column, I'm going to drag it, and I can either drop it in the fields column on the visualization pane. It's going to give me a summary. So when I drag and drop the sales column onto the fields place, it is going to summarize and display the total sales that has taken place in the global superstore dataset in my number card, right? I can cancel this. I can drag sales right onto the screen where the number card is present, and I can leave it there. It will also give me the same output. So there are two ways of feeding this. So this is one card, right? I am minimizing the size and I'm going to drag it and leave it on one side of my screen. So I'll access one more card here, and I'm going to align three cards as such, and you have to tell me what pattern do you observe, right? So I'm going to close the old card and we'll open a fresh card. So there is one card here. So I'm going to copy, paste, and create a few more cards here. To the first number card, I'm going to drag and drop sales on it. To the second number card, I'm going to drag and drop profit. And on the third card, I'm going to drag and drop quantity, right? So on my screen right now, I have three number cards, right? I'm just going to place them right next to each other. So yeah, this is how cards look. But if they have to look distinct and they have to be visible on the dashboard, there is one particular formatting that you have to do. I'm going to select this, all these cards. I'm going to the format your visual pane. I'm going to switch on the tile option. So this is how your cards will look like. So if they have to just display one particular value here, why do we even have to use this? This is just like a text box. Might be one of the doubts that you might get. But I can show you that how these particular number cards are highly functional. So to demonstrate that, I just drag and drop an empty table here. And onto this table, I'm going to drag and drop subcategory. So this entire table is displaying me all the subcategories that we have in the global superstore dataset, right? So I'm going to minimize these number cards and move them to the top corner of the screen. So I'll try to maximize the table as much as possible, right? So and let's format this values size. Yeah. So yeah, we'll leave it at 23. So this format part, which we had discussed in earlier classes, I hope you just read what I did. I just changed the sizes of all the values and the column header so that it will be way more visible to you. This is all part of formatting your table. I hope you recall those who have watched the previous set of tutorials we have posted on Dwaytech. So I'm coming to this table and I'll just try and select accessories. As soon as I click on accessories, it is displaying the total sales that has happened in accessories. It is describing the total profit that Global Superstore has gained by selling accessories, and it is also letting us know total of how many units of sales has happened in the category of accessories. Total 11,000 units of products have been sold under the unit of accessories, right? So I can scroll down to this particular table and I can click on furnishings. Immediately it is also displaying. So what we understand is these number cards are pretty dynamic in nature. So as soon as you can connect it to different data sets. I can use the subcategory here. I can also connect it with the segment, or location wise. So whichever list or whichever map I can connect it to a table, I can connect it to a matrix, I can connect it to a pie chart in of the same sorts. So any particular chart that I can select, and any particular column that I'm going to assign to the particular chart, using that chart can easily be connected to all these different number cards at the same time. You see, whenever I select, it's not only the first number card which is displaying sales, or the second number card which is displaying profit, or the third number card which is displaying the quantity that is changing. It's all the three cards, right? All three cards are dynamically shifting and giving us new answers or displaying new values when I'm switching in between different subcategories. So these are pretty dynamic in nature, and these cards can be connected with all the other charts that we use in Power BI, right? So this is with number cards. The next kind of card we'll be looking at is the text card. Of course, at least numbers have a particular functionality. Numbers, a proper analysis can be done. Ranking or average or sum or percentage, a number of arithmetic functions that can be performed on numbers. So we have a particular purpose to call these number cards dynamic. Whereas on text, right? Text card is purely like a text box. What kind of dynamic functions can be performed in text box? I know that might sound a bit basic. You might sound it as a very unnecessary feature, but we'll see how dynamic text box is and how we can bring text box into play as a display box. Right now, let me come back to the visualization pane, and I select a card. I select card. I just copy and paste this card twice. So yeah, I have three empty cards on my screen. So in the previous explanation, I connected them with numerical columns, so they were considered number cards. To display them how they are text cards, I'm just going to go down and I'm going to select subcategory and I'm going to leave it here. Right. So do you see the first card here? It is displaying accessories, right? So since a text card or a text box can display only one value at a time, when you add something alphabetical column like subcategories, it won't be able to display all the values, right? So whenever you connect a card with a particular alphabetical column which has text data, the first cell, right, the value which is present in the first cell will be displayed there. And how is it dynamic, we'll just take a look at it. So I'm going to connect, but yeah, it's not just the first value. This is a default setting where the card will display the first value in the entire column, but you can change that, right? So I'm going to select this. I'm going to come down here. In place of fields, it says first subcategory. I'm going to press the drop down here. You can see there is first, there is last, there is count distinct, and there is quick measure. There are n number of options that I can choose from. So I'm going to click on last. It's going to display tables. See, what we can assume from this particular function is when it said first value in the column, it displayed accessories. When we said last value on the column, it is displaying tables. We can assume that the data in the subcategories column is arranged alphabetically and it is giving that alphabetical outcomes, right? So how is that dynamic? We'll just take a look at it. We'll manipulate using a table. So I'm going to select a table to create here. Right. I'll maximize the view and move to the leftmost in the screen. So now I'm going to unselect the card and then I'm going to click on the table to create it. Right. So I've left the table here. In here, we are going to measure sales against subcategory. So I'm going to leave subcategory here and I'm going to leave sales here. Let's just format this table, go to values, increase the size to 23, right? And go to column headers and also increase the size to 23, right? So here we have the entire data of subcategory against sum of sales, right? So since I have left the card and the table on the same screen, I'm Power BI automatically connects both the charts, right? I'm going back to the table and I'm clicking on accessories. I'm clicking on appliances. So whatever is in this order, it is displaying. So I'm going to go back to the card. I'm going to select and I'm leave it at subcategory. So this is the particular order. What if I come to the table and I click on the shuffle icon, which shuffles the order to ascending to descending and descending to ascending. It has an interchanging feature. Now I'm coming back to the card and I'm selecting first in the line. See, it differs. Now, if I go back to sum of sales and I rearrange sum of sales in terms of descending order, where the category, the subcategory which has made highest sales is on the top of the list, and the subcategory with the least amount of sales is at the bottom of the list. So I'm going to the card again and I'm going to select last in the subcategory. And I'm going to switch it back to first in the subcategory. See, it differs. That is how it differs. That is how the text card differs with the data it is connected with. So here we are going to close text box. So this is one of the basic features of text box, just like number box. The next card we are looking at is the date card, right? We're going to select the card. I'm going to drag, maximize the view. Connecting it with sale date, right? I'm going to drag and drop sale date here. So the earliest ship date, which means the first sale that Global Superstore ever made, was in 2012, right? I'm going to select last. So the latest sale that the Global Superstore dataset has made is on Thursday, January 2016, right? In 2016, the last sale, the latest record of sale that Global Superstore has made is on this date. So this is how it varies. So this particular card where you can use them is when you are creating a very visual dashboard, no, which is updating. Let's say, it's connected with a constantly updating database, right? So regarding predictions or regarding share predictions, regarding stock market predictions, right? When you have to display one really particular important value that is, varying in accordance to a particular database with which it is connected, these kind of properties or this particular chart called the text card, even the number card and the date card come into play. So these are the three major cards that we have in Power BI. So other than these are the basic cards, using the only card option, we created a number card, we created a date card, and we created a text card. So there is a complicated card which we can access here, that is the multi-row card, right? So I have opened a multi-row card. Yeah. So what is a multi-row card? You might feel a bit confusing because every card or a table should have one row or one column against each row and each column. We'll see how this particular multi-row card works, right? So in place of fields, I'm going to drag and drop subcategory here. Yes, okay. So this is just like a list, or it is just like a table which is displaying all the details that I have asked. So in place of field, I have added subcategory. If you clearly observe the visualization pane here, you'll observe that it doesn't say field, it says fields, right? So what we can understand is this particular feature called the multi-row table has the capacity to accept two or more fields, like more than one field. So right after subcategory, I'm going to drag and drop sales right below that. You can see that it is naming the subcategory and it is displaying the sales that it has made against that particular subcategory. So not only one particular numerical attribute, I'm going to drag and drop profit under sum of sales. So immediately against this one particular column, there are two rows being made here. So in the first row, it is displaying the sum of sales. In the second row, it is displaying the sum of profit, right? You can understand how this multi-row is working against only one column. Like against one column, we have multiple rows. So that is the specialty of this card. So we have a sum of sales and we have a sum of profit row. Can we add any more rows? Yes, of course we can add. So other than profit, now I'm going to scale up back to, I'm going to scroll up and I'm going to select quantity. I'll drag and drop quantity below profit and you see here. Against this particular card, like a table, is displaying the name of the subcategory at the top, and against the one particular column, it is displaying three columns of data, each column representing sales, profit, and quantity. That is three different columns and three different attributes in the master data set, right? So this is the purpose of multi-row table. Likewise, I said, while dealing with dashboards which are which you use to visualize or display values that are constantly changing in the database. So this particular thing can vary. When you are dealing with a stock, you have to be displaying buying price, you have to be displaying the selling price, and you have to be displaying the percentage with which it is varying, right? So when you are have to display multiple values, but all of them attribute to only one particular aspect, then you can use this multi-row card, right? So these are the cards that we deal in Power BI. So today's part was that. So all four types of cards that we saw: the text card, the number card, the date card, and the multi-row card. These are the cards that we use in Power BI. And tomorrow we'll meet again with filters. So tomorrow's topic is going to be filters. It is going to be a very interesting part. We'll deal with filters tomorrow. Till then, when you have the data set with you, kind of try to practice, try to use all the cards, and try to connect those cards with different tables and see how this variating operations work, right? Try out all the functionalities and try to explore, as much as you learn with yourself. It is, you cannot learn when somebody else is teaching. Rather than observation, when you explore it yourself, you can, you have a good chance of mastering all the techniques that are involved there, right? You get a knack of finding things out by yourself, right? So try to practice, try to make a few cards, and try to display a text card and a number card and a date card together, and try to do some analysis operations on a particular data set. It should look really beautiful, so you'll be able to incorporate that in the future onto your dashboard, right? So thank you so much, team. We'll be ending today's class with that.